All right. Welcome to a new game. Not just a new game for the channel, but also a brand new game in the Play Store. This is called Detective Case Murder Mystery. It's a real detective investigation murder mystery novel game. And again, like I was saying, it's a brand new game. I don't know what to expect. You have at the top, you have what looks like energy, in-game currency. Looks like you maybe, depending on your decisions or your answers or your options that you have to choose from, cost different amounts of coins. I don't know. We have here the latest release is the Murder in Black Alley, Volume 1. We have an upcoming release. It doesn't have a title, but there is apparently an upcoming release. So what we're going to do is we're going to get right into Murder in Black Alley, Volume 1. The governor's son has been murdered. You are given 75 hours to investigate and arrest the suspect. In the course of your investigation, you will be presented with difficult choices. Now you must make the right ones that will hopefully lead you to the suspect before the deadline. Gives you an idea of the author. Chapter progress is 0 because we have not started it. Top left of the picture there is the genre is thriller. It takes approximately 70 minutes and there's 7 episodes. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's play the story. Murder in Black Alley, Volume 1. A mystery that tests your detective skills to the max. Click on the screen to continue. I guess the bottom right there, Anna Sidney, might be the author. What would you want your detective name to be for this case? Oh, easy. The best detective out there. Tongue-tied, of course. How do you want to be addressed? That's fine, sir. Sir's fine. Let's get started. I'm ready. I'm jam ready. I'm jam genius. Ooh, 5 a.m. Alarm's going off. Do I have to actually touch it to... Okay, nothing happened. I didn't do anything. Oh, it's on repeat? I think I actually have to... Maybe it's a little bit interactive. Yeah, I think so. Okay, yeah, you did have to touch the alarm clock. It's 5:45 a.m. You snoozed lazily in your bed like one with 0 worries. The first time your alarm rang was at 5 a.m. You remember... So it looks like the text is not easy to read in some spots. Like it's off the white, so it's kind of hard. I know that says remember slamming the clock so hard it toppled off the bedside table and splattered on the floor. Maybe splattered. I think that's a splatter, but you can't see. I mean, I don't know if you guys can see it. I can't see it. I can't see the letters with the way that the text is running off of the white background there. The parts of your alarm clock when scattering out like snooker ball. A little grammar issues there. If the clock could speak, it would have sworn whoever to disturb you. It would have sworn whoever to disturb you ever again. I don't know. I can't see it. It had been pretty exhausting lately. 2 nights ago, you were at the precinct working out a murder case. The facts came in bits, and so you had had to stay awake all night putting them together. And in the day, you had plunged into a ground plan execution. It ended with you chasing the murderer down Black Alley. Perhaps your alarm clock would have understood how drained you were if you were a human. Or if it were a human. The alarm clock would have understood if the alarm clock were human. Got it. But the caller over the phone didn't quite agree with that. It chimed endlessly on the bedside table. You would have to give a fair judgment to this one. You touched about the bed and covered your ears with your pillow? I don't know. I don't think that's touch though. You slouched? Is that slouched? You slouched about the bed and covered your ears with your pillow? Your right hand finally peeked out from under the duvet and reached for it. You pushed off the pillow to see who was calling. It was Naomi, your colleague. Ah, what do you do? What do you do, Naomi? Let's go ahead and accept. You received a call from Naomi saying that there had been another murder around Black Alley. And never seen that word a day in my life. Exigently requested for you to be present at the crime scene. Oh, this is me talking. What's with Black Alley and murder? What do you do? Sleep more because it's your day off? Sounds about right. Avoid going as you have a date with your crush. Future ex-wife. Got a date with my future ex-wife? Sounds like a good idea as well. Report immediately at the crime scene. So you have two options here that you can just kind of ignore everything with, or we can actually do our job and investigate some crime. I'm kind of curious as to what happens if we don't investigate. I think I'm gonna go on a date with my crush. Going on a date with future ex-wife. That's what we're doing. I'm wondering if maybe you just lose instantly. We're gonna find out. You head for the kitchen, but on your way, a thought strikes you that you almost forgot about the date with Katie today. Right. Future ex-wife material, Katie. And it was one you couldn't afford to miss. Having worked your butt off the last couple of days, you thought you could take the day off. Right. I feel like I deserve the day off to go on a date with Katie. And it was to make up for the countless times you had disappointed Katie. Oh, sorry, Katie. Didn't mean to disappoint you. Countless times. Many a time you had fixed a date and then failed to show up, probably due to work. It's time to give work some rest and time for me to focus on Katie. This time, she had left a stern warning that you dare disappoint her again. You had crushed on Katie since high school. You both attended the same college together. You made advances at her throughout those years, but she did not seem to get the memo. She jam friend-zoned me. Katie friend-zoned me all through high school. What the hell, Katie? However, after years at the college, you bet she began to see the light in what you felt for her. She began to give you attention, and it felt right. That's what I'm talking about. I had a little glow up in college. Got some attention from Katie, and it felt right. Felt glorious, wonderful. You had asked her out on a date a number of times, and she had agreed, although she became reluctant after you failed to show up the first time. And when you failed again, she would call to something her anger. She called to vent. It has to be vent, right? She called to vent her anger. I'm telling you, the black background, you got black letters. It doesn't make sense. Dark letters, dark background. I can't see them. I can't see the damn words. It had taken a lot of begging and promises to get her to agree to go out with you on this one, and you couldn't afford to flop. I wonder what we promised. Hopefully it wasn't too much. It was your plan to be at the eatery even before she came, like a professional who's always on time. But now, it seemed like you were going to fail again. Damn it. We didn't get to the eatery on time. You lean against the wall, facing up. You think of what to do. What if you just followed the time? How do you follow time? Do you, follow it on your watch? You follow the time, you just know what time it is? I don't know. I'm not sure how you followed the time. Or you could call your captain and tell him you wouldn't be at work today. Maybe someone else would handle the investigation. Look, the captain doesn't need to know that I'm not going to be at work if it's my day off. The captain already knows. It's my day off. I'm not going to be there, Cap. Like, you know this already. I don't think I need to bring it to your attention that I'm not going to be there on my day off. I'm going out with Katie. I can't afford to miss this date again. I've been crushing on Katie my entire high school career, and now that I'm in college, she finally gave me a shot. Struck out the first time, but not the second time. Or maybe you could call Katie and cancel the date. You could always go for it some other time. But considering how vehemently she had presented her warning, you couldn't bring yourself to disappoint her again. You were in a dilemma, confused. You had to call Katie to tell her off. That's not what that means. We about to cuss Katie out. We about to tell her off. little translation there. That was the only reasonable thought your mind could produce at the moment. No, it's not. That's not the most reasonable thought. Look at that. Now that I got a light black background, I have a border that's keeping me from being able to see it. Awesome. You look in the direction you had just come from, being a bit hesitant, but it was necessary. And so you went back, grabbed the phone from your bedside table, swiped across the screen, and opened your call log. Don't tell me that we're going to call Katie and cancel our date. Like, it's not even going to be within my control. Like, if it wasn't within my control, I'm going on that date. But it's not even going to be in my control. It's just going to do it for me. You realize she was the last person you spoke with last night. Although you can't quite remember what you talked about, she must have reminded me of the date today. Your thumb was now only an inch away from dialing her number. You feel your breath getting heavier. You feel your breathing getting heavier. You might lose Katie forever if you make this call. It was too much of a decision and you couldn't bear it. With a lot of mental effort, you bunged the phone on the bed. You bunged the phone on the bed. You think of your initial idea of managing my time today would be what you have to do. You can't afford to lose Katie, and your job was important as well. You think that you could handle both today. It was probably going to be another stressful day, having finally reached a decision. You exhale deeply and leave the room. Mini game loaded. We're a little sideways though. Hey, you guys are gonna have to just turn your head. We got a little mini game here. Oh, okay. I see what we gotta do. We gotta find. It's like a little search thing. We gotta find all these little things. We gotta find a spaceship, crystals, pyramid, a man, a mushroom plate, oil lamp, books, hand, eye, wires. So there's the mushroom plate. There's the man. No, that was a man. Did it not work? We do have 3 lives, so that's interesting. Crystals. These are crystals. Pyramid. That's a pyramid. Where's a spaceship? See, there's a spaceship. So I got to be careful, because if I miss tap something, it could potentially lose me a lot of lives and potentially coins. I found the oil lamp there. There's a hand somewhere. There's some books. There's the books. We got some wires. These like up here look like wires. We got an eye, a hand, and a man. So is that a hand? There, that must be the hand. Yep, it was in the top left. Is this an eye? That's the eye. And then a man. Now, I saw the man standing next to this mushroom, but maybe that's not it. I tapped on it once. Maybe I just missed the tap. I'm going to try tapping it again. Okay, it was so small, I must have just missed the tap. You have successfully completed the minigame. All right, so back to the story. You think that you could handle both today. It was probably going to be another stressful day. Having finally reached a decision, you exhale deeply and leave the room. Oh, I guess we're going to work. We got some flashy lights. We going to the crime scene. Okay. The crime scene was teeming with officers when you arrived. See, they've got it under control. They've got plenty of officers there. They don't need me. I need to go on the date with Katie. Katie needs me right now. The victim had just been stretched into the ambulance, and the scene was barricaded with the conventional yellow tape. You cross the tape when Naomi dashed towards you. In your opinion, Naomi isn't all that beautiful, but she has a smile that could lighten up one's day. She has the perfect set of white teeth that were something lined, neatly lined. She had straight white teeth. You agree it was one of the things that brightened your day when you were having a bad one. She had such an attractive aura that could keep one enthralled in her presence. You always thought she was not made for this kind of job. She would be better off as a model or a show presenter. Wait, I thought she wasn't attractive. I could have swore that it said that she wasn't pretty. Like she's not pretty, but she has straight white teeth. But she's not pretty, and now we're saying that she's better off being a model or a show presenter. I don't even know what a show presenter is. Are you talking about like the girl that, like in the Wheel of Fortune, goes and pushes the little TV screens to light up the letters? Like the girls on The Price is Right that that are those the show presenters that we're talking about? I mean, they were all really pretty, but we just said that Naomi's not pretty, but she should be these things? I don't understand. But she had been doing her best to prove you wrong in every case. She was putting in more enthusiasm than you have ever anticipated and was ever willing to learn. You thought she had some personal reason for joining the police. You remember confronting her about it, but she had tossed it in the bin each time. You brought it up. She tossed it in the bin. She just tossed it out, I guess. She may not have given an answer, but she made you believe that there was something actually going on. You see her removing the blue gloves she had on. Oh, Naomi is gorgeous. I don't know, maybe I read it wrong. I could have swore they said that Naomi wasn't that pretty, but she should be doing all these other things. But thank goodness you're here, sir. She's gorgeous. She's future ex-wife material right there. Who's our victim? Henry Blair. The thought that you have to keep to time in everything you do today keeps ringing. That's not grammarly accurate. Henry, what? I have no idea what you're talking about. Your face creased instantly on hearing that name. It was familiar. Very, very familiar. Wait, Blair? You mean the governor's son? I mean, Eric Blair's son? Yes, sir. And that was when you finally noticed the government vehicles parked around the scene. You calm your fit of surprise and ask, what happened? We got a report that he was found dead in his car at the early hours of this morning with lots of bullet holes on his chest. Not in his chest. The bullet holes weren't in his chest. They were on him. Like removable. Just stickers. Just remove them. He'll be fine. Because they weren't in his chest. So that's good. That's good. But someone witnessed everything that happened. That's her. Naomi pointed at a lady standing by one of the cars. What do you do? Ask Naomi to narrate what happened. Meet the lady herself. 20 coins. Let's go ahead and meet the lady ourselves, because why not? Let's go ahead and spend the coins. You make your way towards the witness. Hi, ma'am. How are you doing today? My name's Tongue-Tied, and I am the detective handling this case. There's the witness. Didn't they say it was like an old lady? Did I read that wrong? Yeah, I thought they said it was like an old lady, like meet the old lady. Maybe it was just meet the lady. I don't know. I could have swore it said meet the old lady. I was expecting an elderly lady. I'm okay, but I feel so lost after seeing what had happened a while ago. I understand. Could you tell me more of what you saw? Around 4:47 in the morning, I was going to the bathroom and saw some lights down through the curtain. I opened the curtains and saw two cars coming furiously into the alley. The killers were in a minivan. The minivan blocked the car. Four guys then stormed out of the car and ran towards the victim with guns. Did you see their faces? Can you help us recognize their faces? No, I could not. They had masks on. The victim tried to reverse his car, but they caught up to him and shot him several times. Then, the guys got into their car and zoomed off. Can you just wait here for a minute, ma'am? I'll be right back. Oh, is that blood on the bottom of the screen? Can't tell. You look in the direction of the ambulance. The ambulance was parked and think that's where the body must currently be. So you have to go and investigate. You head towards the car. You look at your watch. It's 6:15 a.m. You think you still have time. Your date with Katie is scheduled at 12 p.m. and it's going to take the whole day. So it's super early in the morning. And our date with Katie is around lunchtime, around noon. We got plenty of time. We got 5 hours and 45 minutes left to do whatever we need to do. And then go catch up with our date with Katie. Plenty of time. Although you were trying to keep to time, you fear you might not make it. One of the guards came down from the SUV and helped Henry's mother with the door. She coiled out of it slowly. Her eyes were puffed up, suggesting that she had... What? She had tried a river? What? Cried. She had... suggesting that she had cried a river. You look at her and nod. Your Excellency. She came and stood in front of you. The guard was behind her. It seemed as though she had come to issue a daring warning to you. This is Gladys Blair? She looks super young too. I believe you are the detective to handle the investigation of my son's death. Yes, I am, Your Excellency. She took one more step closer. Her face reads a kind of resolution that you had never seen in a long time. You must do all you can to arrest those involved in the death of my son. All of them. I'm giving you 72 hours to fish them out. I want to see them in your custody no later than the 75th hour. Am I understood? The 75th hour. What is the 75th hour? I only know of 24 hours. But I guess maybe it's because we've already been on the case. Maybe we've already been doing our investigation for 3 hours and she's given us a 72-hour time limit. So that's the 75th hour. The 75th hour from when we started the case, maybe? I don't know. You nod your head to her and you can swear you felt your voice quavering in that. She did not say another word. She only gave you a derisive look and stormed into her car. The guard behind her had already opened the door as though he already knew what she was going to say, and then they drove off. You wanted to ask her some questions, but she did not give you the chance. You would have to visit the state house, and just like that, your task for the day was adding up. Worse still, you had just been told to finish the investigation in 3 days and bring the suspect in the 75th hour. Basically, investigations like this were hard to follow up. The suspects seemed to be high-level criminals who probably had a personal vendetta with either the governor or his wife. It would be more difficult to get them, and that means extra working extra shift at the office to pull that off. You hear your mind saying that you should probably cancel your time with Katie, but it was only thoughts. You had not you had not gathered the courage yet. Perhaps because you think you still can make it. You move to head towards the witness. You were joined by Naomi. What did she want, sir? Oh, just giving me an ultimatum, telling me I had to get it done in 75 hours, or else. You shove your hand in your pocket a bit, lost about how to deal with Katie. Naomi noticed that you were absent. Sir? Yes, what was the question again? She sighed inaudibly. What did Her Excellency want? Oh, that. She wants me to arrest the suspects in 75 hours. I really do not know how I'm going to pull that off. But that's too short. And what happens if it takes longer than that? Then it's off with my head. I don't know. Maybe seize my badge or something. That's crazy. To you, it wasn't just crazy, but oppressive as well. It was oppressive to call you out of your bed and order you to carry out an investigation as apparently complicated as this and arrest the suspects within 3 days. You clear your mind and head towards the witness. Hello once again. This is my colleague, Naomi. She nodded and pouted her lips. You were too preoccupied to ask what that meant. I'd like you to tell me exactly what you saw regarding the incident. I told you everything I saw. There is nothing else I could add. After they shot him and sped away, I called the police. But why did you not call the police immediately you saw the cars arrive furiously at the alley? I was in shock, and my phone was in my bedroom. Besides, it happened so quickly, from the cars screeching to a stop and the men storming out and firing at the boy and then quickly returning onto their car and zooming off into their car, returning into the car and zooming off. It was quick. There was no conversation of any sort. I think they must have chased him from the major road in the alley. You take a breath. You take a breather. Not just a breath, but a breather. You take a breather. You can't continue to hound her. You sort of reprimanded yourself for asking her that question in the first place. You were simply frustrated with the chain of unsettling thoughts going on in your mind. All right, thank you, ma'am, I told her. The other officers will get your details. We will call you if we need to ask you any further questions. Naomi, and you walk away. No matter how hard you try, the thoughts still haunt you. You think you should be getting ready for the date by now. But how could you? This was a big case. The governor's son dead. The reports had already been made, and now the public waited for the results from the police. It would be a major blow on the NMPD if the suspects were not apprehended soonest. If the suspects were not apprehended soonest. There would be a sense of insecurity in the country and panic as well, but you have to live too. You can't, you keep reminding yourself. You were starting to get Katie's attention and couldn't just let that slip through your fingers because you were being devoted to your job. What about Stefan? Has he been there? Who's Stefan? No, he hasn't. I called his line, but he did not pick up. He's probably out on a date with his girl. Julie or something. He was like, nah, I'm off today. I'm going on a date instead. It's what we should have been doing. Stefan was a forensic scientist. He had worked with you for over a year now. He had been diligent at work, but all of a sudden he started reporting late to work and not picking up his calls. You had to call him over and over again before he could answer and join you in the last arduous investigation. You could tell he too was exhausted because he was with you every step of the way. You bet he had a lot going on with him that he had refused to share. Naomi was with you too throughout the investigation. Her being here early enough showed how determined she was at the job. You take out your phone and dial Stefan's number, but he did not answer. Naomi was looking at you as if saying, "Told you so." Other officers were clearing up at the scene. The official cars had left, probably with Her Excellency. You call Stefan again, and this time, he answered. "Where are you, man? We've been trying to reach you." "I'm sorry, but I have a lot going on right now." "Really? Are you okay?" "Yeah, I am." But that didn't sound true. His voice sounded contrary to that claim. "Can you meet us at the Doe Glen Hospital? You need to examine a patient." "All right, I'm on my way." He ended the call before you could say another word. You turned to Naomi, who was now looking up at you expectantly. "He's on his way to the hospital. Come on." We dashed into the car and headed out to Doe Glen Hospital to examine Henry's corpse. Perhaps you could find a clue that would nail the suspects before the 75 hours expired. You looked at your watch again. It was 7:50 a.m. So it's getting close. It's getting close to our date. And once 12 o'clock starts getting closer, I'm just leaving. I don't even care. I'm leaving the investigation. I'm going on my date with Katie. 12 p.m. You reminded yourself. You were still convinced that you could make it, or maybe slightly late. Your presence with her was what you were... What? Sure. Your presence with her was what you were sure of. But when you get to the eatery, or how long you would stay with her, was what you weren't sure of. But you think she would understand. After all, she knew the nature of my job, wouldn't she? A mini game. Another little mini game. Let's go ahead and play it. Okay. Lantern, no smoking. Birdcage, bottles, balloon, hat. I see the balloon right there. Eagles, there's the no smoking right there. Radio, bat, dog, hat. Okay. There's the dog up here up the top. Some of it's kind of hard to see. It's a little blurry. It's a little, here's the eagle. This might be the hat. Okay, it was a hard hat, but it was a hat regardless. A lantern, a bird cage. There's a bird cage right there. Bottles, bat, and radio. I wonder what kind of bat they're talking about. Baseball bat? Or no, it's actually the flying bat in the top left. We need radio, bottles, and lantern. This might be a lantern. These might be the bottles. And that might be the radio. Perfect. Level complete. You have successfully completed the minigame. But you think she would understand. After all, she knew the nature of my job, wouldn't she? Oh, that must be that was an abrupt ending. Congratulations, you have completed a chapter. Click on the button below to collect your reward. So to collect the reward, we had to watch an ad, which I think I got like 2 coins or something. I don't know. It wasn't worth it. So that was chapter 1, and it looks like we have 7 other chapters. So we've completed chapter 1. This kind of gives me Dream Zone vibes as far as how the story is going, and it's not really a huge, at least up until this point. I understand this is a novel game. This is a crime investigation, murder mystery novel game. So it does make sense that it kind of resembles Dream Zone a little bit. I just thought it would be a little bit more interactive looking at it, but you never know. It might get more interactive later on in the chapters. Either way, the translation and the grammar is kind of shoddy at best. The mini game is pretty easy. I do like the mini games, but for the most part, not not too sure about Detective Case just yet. But we will probably continue this. Let me know what you guys think. I understand that like I said, the grammar, the translation's a little shoddy, but let me know what you guys think. Obviously, this is the chapter 1 of the game. We're looking for the criminals, the bad guys who killed Her Excellency's son, the governor's son, I think it was, and that's the murder mystery that we're investigating right now. And we have 72 hours to complete that, and we have to have our findings. We have to have somebody in custody by the 75th hour. Let me know what you guys think of this so far. If you guys want to see chapter 2, 3, 4, 5, if you guys want me to complete this, I guess this volume, Murder in the Black Alley, let me know in the comments down below. If you're enjoying this so far and you want to see chapter 2, hit that like button. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and join the Tethered. As always, thanks for watching. Love you all. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.